Am I the asshole? Wife thinks I should spend money saved for my brother's college education on our first home. I think the money should go to him. When I was growing up, my older sister and I were poor. Our parents put food on the table, a roof over our heads, and clothes on our back. But that's about it. My sister and I couldn't afford college. She got married young and had 2 kids. Her husband is a good guy, but they have struggled with money. My wife and I met when we were both 20, have 1 kid, and have 1 on the way. We also struggle with money, but to a lesser extent. With a new baby coming, we'll be just about breaking even every month. 17 years ago, my parents had another baby. For the sake of privacy, I'll call him Tom. He's done well in school and has 3 college offers. Even with financial aid, though, he won't be able to afford to go somewhere, even local, as our parents will not be able to support him at all. When Tom was born, I was 17 and my older sister was 19. We both wanted to make sure that Tom would have the opportunity to go to college that we didn't have. So we saved as much money as we could for 1 year, put it into the stock market, and planned to give it to Tom for college when he turned 18. We ended up saving $2,000 each, $4,000 total. We each put our halves into separate TD Ameritrade accounts and invested it in all low-risk funds. The money in each account is now worth nearly $23,000, so $45,000 total. Tom has been accepted to an amazing college to study engineering, and with financial aid, he'd need to take out about $40,000 in loans. He would never do this because the fear of that debt is too much. My sister and I fully intend on keeping our promise and giving Tom the money to make sure he gets a better life than we've had. In many ways, he is our son as well as our brother. When I met my wife, I told her that I'd put $2,000 aside for Tom when he got older. Last week, I told her how much it was worth now. I probably should have updated her as the investment grew, but in my head, this money isn't mine, it's Tom's. My wife thinks that Tom should get the money from my sister if she wants to give it to him, but not from me. This is because if we use my half to add to our current savings, we could finally afford to buy our first home. If prices increase even more, she thinks reasonably that we will never be able to buy. She thinks my obligation to our own children to provide a stable financial future is more important. She can see my side, but thinks without using this money to buy now, we may be renting precariously forever. I think my sister, who is worse off than we are, is keeping her promise. And this money was set aside for Tom before I met my wife. Am I the asshole?
No, you're not the asshole.
No.
Your wife's a dick.
This is so cute.
Yeah. Your investment grew, and it's for your younger brother that you wanted to help out. This is like the same thing earlier. Like, you promised this money for someone else, and someone else realized how much money you had and was like, that's my money. No, it's not about you. You dedicated this money to something. I understand that you have kitties now, but if you do the same thing right now, with the same money that you're using to rent with instead of buy with, in 18 years time, you're going to have a fuck ton of money for your kids' college funds.
Mm-hmm. I know this guy's integrity too, I don't know if Tom even knows about his brother, but it's the integrity he has to still uphold this bargain is amazing. And I think too, I'm sure his brother would help him down the road too. Engineering, he's going to have a great career after this. I'm sure his brother would be more than happy to repay him in some way. That's not a necessity at all.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it needs to be, but I'm sure he would.
Yeah, he's gonna help you out. You give him $40,000 and he's not gonna be like, dude, you guys did that for me. If he was a total piece of crap, but I'm not gonna assume that. He's gonna help you out in the future, and you have so much time to save for your children. Do the same thing. And there's no shame in renting. I understand that the housing market is crap, but there is no shame in renting at all.
None. I actually saw something, and it was from this major economist, and he broke it down, and he was like, we all are told this lie that buying a home is the biggest investment.
Yeah.
It's great for us. It's whatever. It's a lie. It costs more money over the course of your lifetime to buy a home than it does to just rent forever.
Yeah.
You have upkeep, maintenance, renovations, all of this homeowner's insurance, all this shit, repairs. He goes, you'll save hundreds of thousands of dollars if you just rent. Yeah. And he broke it down. It was the craziest thing to me.
I just I'm so annoyed at the wife in this situation. He made a promise and he's keeping that promise, and someone else is also upholding that promise, and it's just not your money. I don't know how to tell people this. It is not your money at all. I understand like sharing a joint like bank account, but if this is not in his bank account, it's in a separate account, not your money.
Nope.
Truly not your money. You're not on it. It's not your money.
Can't touch it. What if this was, so I picked this one too because I was like, it's good, but what if this was divorce worthy for her?
She wanted to get divorced for this?
Because he wouldn't spend the money on getting them a house.
Well, then I think she's a piece of shit. It's a house. If you have a place to live, owning it is not much different. Like just, why would you? This is divorce worthy for her. My husband.
If it was just like playing the devil's advocate a little.
I don't think that these two people should get divorced, and I am kind of annoyed that she said that she can see his side, but she's still like pushing it. You don't need to own a home if you live somewhere. I understand that there's that urge, but it's truly not life or death. You promised this kid, I'm going to help him through college, and now is the time that he is going to college. That is more pressing than you permanently owning your residence.
Yeah. I know he does like give an update in the comments. It looks like it's the only comment. But update, didn't expect this to blow up. I thought I'd give you guys more information. Neither Tom nor our parents know about the money. When you live like we do, there's always an emergency, and the money would have been withdrawn and spent years ago if somebody else had known how much it had grown to. It's so easy to say you'll take a few $100s out and replace it, but in reality, that never happens. It's not the reality of working class people. All Tom knows is that we said we would be able to help him a bit, but not the full extent. Having grown up poor, he won't take out the loans even for a STEM subject with good career options. You need to understand context. $40,000 in debt is a king's ransom to people like us. When my sister and I saved our $2,000 each, that was a real struggle and sacrifice. However, neither of us had any responsibilities. 17 years ago, that money went a lot further than it would today. We knew nothing about the stock market, and it's only through luck that it made such a good return. In 2009, each account briefly clipped under $1,300. I work full-time in construction. There's huge job security but little progression. My wife works part-time in retail. Childcare costs mean it's not worth her working more. We have good health insurance and enough money to cover around 8 months of expenses if we lose our jobs. These savings aren't going to grow with a new baby. We decided to have our second child and final child because at 34 we can no longer delay. My wife and I both agree that the value of having a sibling is worth the financial adversity. It is something we have both budgeted for and can just afford. Tom never had a sibling close to his age, and I'm more of an uncle/second father figure to him. When our children are both older, my wife can return to work full-time and our savings will grow again. We are not on the breadline. However, I'm not 17 anymore and the cost of living keeps going up. If we use the money to buy a house, we will save thousands in rent and pay off equity. The thing is, like us, Tom will refuse to take out loans to go to college. He'll have the same crappy existence we have, and I hate the idea of it. Both of my children and my sister's child have $3,000 each put in the same fund for college. That's all we can do. Hopefully it'll be worth more when they get there, but there's no guarantee.
It will definitely be worth more when they get there.
It'll be good.
Yeah.
I think like give the brother his money, even like maybe like a compromise of saying like, hey, we have $30K for you and then you only take out 10, but it doesn't sound like he'd even go for that. And it's not, just let him have it. Like you worked.
Yeah.
Like it's just, I don't know.
Just give it to him. Yeah. I mean, like if it's also like, I'm thinking about like the compromise, like if you gave him 30,000 and he refused to take out like 10, I don't know. I feel like it sounds like he has to be forced out the door, you know?
Yeah.
I would say give it to him. Cause like you said, like it seems like, you know, if anyone else found out about this in this family, like that's the reason why you kept it between you and your sister is because everyone else would want to take out the money from it.
Yeah.
I would say just get rid of it, give it to him like you promised, and then start from scratch. And you won't even have that like sort of like pressure on you.
Exactly.
Anymore from like him or from any of your family members, like, you know, in the back of your mind.
I agree. Let him have it.
Let him have it.